Hi, my name is Nadia. The class that I'm teaching today is meditation. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going through a series of meditations that I call alchemical meditations, and this first one is based around the element water. So if you think about the nature of water, water is very soft, but it's very powerful. It moves in between rocks, and over thousands of years, it moves through the rocks and it molds the rocks. Whereas fire is something that is a lot more intense, and other rocks crashing against each other feels more violent. And the air, well, that takes many more years, but the water softly moves into all of the crevices and molds and changes the rocks. So when you're working with water energy, you're working with intuitive, receptive, gentle energy. And we're going to move that energy through the body today by doing this meditation that I created around the sandcastle and the impermanence of the sandcastle, building and creating the sandcastle. So I'd like you to close your eyes, please, and sit up in a nice, tall position. You can bring your hands to wherever feels comfortable for you. Sometimes when we're working with water, I like to put my hands in my pelvic bowl with the palms facing up in receptivity. The thumbs together, maybe creating a mudra. And then just let the eyes gently soften, almost so you can feel the essence of your eyelashes touching the cheeks. And I'd like you to take some full, deep breaths. It's so important to start every meditation practice with breath. So closing the eyes, inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And let that exhale be a lot more luxurious than the inhale, because we really want to get all of the toxins and the buildup in the body out through the exhale. Our body detoxes 70% of our toxins through our breath, rather than all those other elements that we're not going to get into here. But the breath is such a powerful way to release not just tension and anxiety, but to release any buildup or deposits of if you're feeling ill or feeling unhealthy at all. That breath is a really great way to push it out. So let's do it a few more times together. Inhale through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Two more times. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Inhale. Hold the breath in at the top. Just keep holding that breath. Feel the shoulders soften down. And when you're ready, really let that exhale out nice and strong. Keeping the eyes closed if that feels safe to you. If not, you can just fix your gaze on something that comforts you. And begin to just imagine this ocean wave moving in towards the beach. Just hear the sound of the crashing waves in your ears. Let your breath mimic the sound of the wave. If you really turn your attention inward and just listen to the breath, it sounds a lot like an ocean wave, doesn't it? Good. Now imagine that you see children running up and down the beach, gathering sand, gathering water, building sandcastles. And you may remember when you were young, yourself building a sandcastle. Even if it wasn't at the ocean, maybe building it in a sandbox. And the beautiful thing about a sandcastle is that it's ephemeral, it's temporary. And the reason why we build it isn't so that we can build something that we get to hold on to, that we get to possess, but to see a momentary moment of beauty. To say that we built that, we created it, and then we allow it to be taken back to the wave that it came from. And so this is how we move through life with ease. Allowing ourselves to build up every magical moment without attaching ourselves to the outcome, without attaching ourselves to the object. Just allowing the beautiful impermanence of life to take us, just like that sandcastle. And so today we're going to build a sandcastle together. Sandcastles in our mind. So what do you need for a sandcastle? Well, you need the sand. So just imagine yourself scooping up big, giant wads of wet and dry sand and bringing them to an area in front of you. And keep breathing. When the sand represents our soul, the structure of our being, our true self, our true will, what it is that we want to build up. And also represents, in this instance, what it is that we want to release. So just find yourself building these sandcastles. You start with the base of the sandcastle. And just pat this wet sand down and just, if you can, feel the feeling of sand under your hands. Move into that feeling. Feel what you feel here. Hear what you hear. See what you see. And then you may notice that in order to build the sandcastle higher, you'll need water. And the water represents your emotions. And the water represents that unifying factor, the thing that sticks the sand, every tiny little grain of sand together. Every tiny little grain of sand is a piece of you, and the water brings it all together. So just see yourself now gathering with a vessel of some kind, a cup, a bowl, some water from the ocean, and bring the water back. And now you can really begin to build this castle. You see yourself building perhaps some turrets, little alcoves, a moat around the castle. This is your time here in this meditation to really play, to allow your imagination to go wild, to build the castle that you always dreamt of building when you were a child, but perhaps you didn't have the ability to, you didn't have the right tools, the right resources. Here in the imagination, you have everything. You can build a magnificent castle here. And you notice that the more that you build, the sun above you begins to dry the sand and the salt water. And so it's this feeling of everything working together to create this one beautiful thing. The heat of the sun the sand, the water, even the air brought the water into the shore close enough so that you could use it to build. And so I'd like you to take a moment now, a moment of silence, to just breathe and build. Good. And now it's time to let the water take your castle. But first, I want you to put all of your worries, all of your doubts, all of your fears, anything that's been holding you back, that's been keeping you stuck, I want you to just bring it into your hands and imagine putting it and molding it into the castle. And see how these painful or challenging things blend into this beautiful thing that you've created, and how it doesn't feel so sticky anymore, so hard. The feelings are transmuted, they're changed. And just breathing and putting all of that energy into the castle. And as you do, you notice the tide begins to rise higher and higher up the beach. And it begins to lick the edges of the castle, pulling away just some of the sand. And just step away for a moment and allow yourself to see the water pull away the sand until you see a big wave coming, the biggest wave that you've ever seen. And in that big wave is the power to wash away everything that you want to let go of, everything you want to release, back into the ocean. And just see that big wave crash on top of the castle and just pull it all the way in. And there you are, back to square one, back to the beach with just the sun, the sand, the waves, and your breath, ready to finally release and let go. And take a few deep breaths here. We're going to close today's practice with one deep inhale in and one very luscious exhale out. You can bring your hands to your heart, right hand on top of left on top of the heart. Inhale in, and then exhale through the mouth. Thank you so much for joining me for this meditation. There are 2 others in the series. There's earth and air, and also there's going to be a little fire meditation. So if you would like to continue this series, you can just click around. All right, thank you.